You are not being monitored by lenses or satellites. You are being measured by eyes. Every room you enter becomes a silent contest. Every conversation is a test. Every interaction is a negotiation of dominance, credibility, and control. And here is the uncomfortable truth. You have been volunteering your power away. You mistake openness for virtue. You confuse honesty with safety. You believe exposure creates trust. It doesn't. It creates access. Centuries ago, Niccolò Machiavelli warned that most people are not destroyed by enemies. They are undone by their own mouths. When you reveal everything, you leave nothing protected. No ambiguity, no leverage, no shield. Most reputations collapse not from immorality, but from looseness, from emotional spillage, from broadcasting weakness, intentions, fears, and unfinished plans. Today, that ends. This is not about cruelty. It is about sovereignty. Because there is a difference between presence and performance, between authority and entertainment, between the ruler and the fool who begs for applause. By the end of this, you will understand why restraint is dominance, why silence unsettles rooms, and how invisibility can become invincibility. But first, accept this. Your hunger to be noticed is the very thing erasing you. The fortification of self. The ancient Stoics and Renaissance tacticians agreed on one principle. The mind must be fortified. A fortress with open gates is not noble. It is an invitation. What follows are 9 behaviors that quietly strip your power in public. Some feel harmless. Some feel virtuous. All of them signal vulnerability. If you remove them, people will treat you differently. Some will distance themselves. Some will hesitate around you. Some may even fear you. If you are uncomfortable with solitude, stop here. If you are ready to reclaim your position, continue. 1. Never announce your next move. Validation is the most addictive drug of the modern era. The moment you tell people what you plan to do, your brain rewards you as if it is already done. You speak to feel accomplished, not to accomplish. But when intentions are exposed, interference begins. You give rivals time to adjust. You invite envy to grow roots. You allow doubt to seep into your own resolve. Consider the chess master who telegraphs every move before making it. He loses before the board is even contested. The same principle governs every arena of life. Business, relationships, personal transformation. The world does not reward announcements. It rewards execution. When you broadcast your plans, you activate resistance you never needed to face. Friends become skeptics. Strangers become saboteurs. Your own confidence becomes performance anxiety. Strategists move first and explain later. Disappear. Work. Return changed. No previews. No declarations. Results speak louder when no one heard the footsteps. Mystery magnifies power. When people cannot predict you, they cannot position against you. When they cannot categorize you, they cannot diminish you. Silence is not secrecy. It is strategic opacity. It is the refusal to hand your enemies a map to your vulnerabilities. 2. Never complain publicly. Complaining does not release pressure. It advertises defeat. When you verbalize suffering to the world, you signal loss of control. You announce yourself as someone shaped by circumstances, not someone who shapes them. Leaders do not narrate pain. They absorb it or eliminate its source. Public complaint repels, not because people lack empathy, but because misery lowers perceived status. Humans are hierarchical creatures. We gravitate towards strength. We distance ourselves from weakness. This is not cruelty. It is survival instinct encoded over millennia. When you complain, you position yourself as a victim. And victims, by definition, lack agency. They lack options. They lack power. This does not mean emotional repression. It means discretion. Choose a private outlet. A therapist, a mentor. A sanctuary where vulnerability serves healing, not reputation destruction. To the world, remain composed. Endurance carried quietly commands respect. Suffering displayed publicly invites pity at best, contempt at worst. The Stoics understood this deeply. Marcus Aurelius faced plague, betrayal, and war. His journals reveal anguish. But to Rome, he remained the immovable emperor. That duality is mastery, internal honesty, external composure. When others see you weather storms without complaint, they begin to wonder what sustains you. That wondering becomes respect. That respect becomes influence. 3. Never lose emotional control. Rage is not strength, it is exposure. The person who provokes you controls you. Every outburst reveals your pressure points. Every reaction becomes ammunition. In any conflict, the one who remains calm dictates the terms. The one who breaks first loses twice. Once in composure, once in credibility. The most intimidating response is restraint. Silence forces others to sit with uncertainty. Stillness unnerves more than shouting ever could. When someone attacks and you do not flinch, they begin to question their leverage. When you respond with measured calm to chaos, you demonstrate superiority without speaking a word. Master your nervous system, or someone else will. This requires practice, breathing techniques, cognitive reframing, physical discipline. The body and mind are not separate. A regulated body produces a regulated mind. Train yourself to pause before responding. That pause is power. It transforms reaction into decision. It converts emotional hijacking into strategic positioning. Napoleon reportedly said that the whole art of war consists in a well-reasoned and extremely circumspect defensive, followed by rapid and audacious attack. The same applies to interpersonal conflict. Absorb the blow. Assess the terrain. Strike only when advantageous. Emotion is acceptable in private. In public, it is liability. 4. Do not apologize unnecessarily. Apologies are currency. Spend them only when required. Over-apologizing communicates inferiority. It trains others to place you below them. It establishes a pattern where your default position is defensive, where your instinct is to shrink rather than stand. There is a difference between accountability and submission. Accountability corrects error and moves forward. Submission begs for permission to exist. Replace submission with presence, gratitude instead of guilt, clarity instead of permission. When you are wrong, correct it once and move on. When you are not, stand firmly. You do not need to justify your existence. Consider how often you apologize for taking up space, for speaking, for having needs, for existing in ways that might inconvenience others. These micro-apologies accumulate. They shape how others perceive you. More importantly, they shape how you perceive yourself. Every unnecessary apology is a small vote for your own insignificance. Stop voting against yourself. When correction is needed, deliver it with authority. I misjudged that. Here is the correction. Not, I'm so sorry, I'm such an idiot. I don't know what I was thinking. Please forgive me. The former demonstrates competence in countering error. The latter demonstrates incompetence begging for tolerance. One maintains status, the other destroys it. 5. Keep your finances invisible. Money invites judgment, envy, pity, and resentment. Appear broke, and you are dismissed. Appear wealthy, and you are targeted. True power is ambiguity. Let people assume competence without confirmation. Quality over display. Comfort without spectacle. Your resources are strategic assets. Never expose them unnecessarily. Financial transparency serves no one but those who would manipulate you. If they know you are struggling, they can exploit desperation. If they know you are thriving, they can exploit envy. The wealthy understand this instinctively. Old money whispers, new money shouts. And the difference is not moral, it is strategic. When your financial position is unclear, people cannot price you. They cannot calculate your vulnerabilities. They cannot position their asks accordingly. This applies to income, debt, investments, and expenditures. What you earn is no one's concern. What you owe is no one's business. What you spend is no one's judgment to make. Guard this information as you would guard any tactical advantage, because that is exactly what it is. Financial ambiguity also protects relationships. How many friendships have been distorted by revealed wealth? How many families have been fractured by inheritance disputes that began with careless financial disclosure? Money has a gravity that pulls people out of their integrity. Do not test relationships with unnecessary information. Let people relate to you for who you are, not what you have. And if they cannot engage without knowing your balance sheet, they have already told you everything you need to know about their motives. 6. Never gossip. Gossip feels like connection. It is actually erosion. Those who speak freely about others will be assumed to speak freely about you. Silence builds trust. Listening builds leverage. When you refuse to participate in gossip, something shifts. People begin to trust you with sensitive information because they recognize you will not weaponize it. This is not moral virtue. It is strategic positioning. The person who holds information without distributing it holds power. The person who spreads it becomes expendable. Collect information. Do not distribute it. Words used to attack reveal obsession. Absence of words signals indifference. Indifference is dominance. When someone tries to bait you into gossip, your refusal communicates several things simultaneously. That you are not impressed by their information. That you are not threatened by the subject of their gossip. That you operate on a different level entirely. This creates psychological distance. And psychological distance is hierarchy. Furthermore, gossip creates unnecessary enemies. Every person you speak about negatively becomes a potential adversary the moment your words travel, and words always travel. The illusion of confidentiality is one of humanity's most persistent delusions. Assume everything you say will eventually reach the subject. Operate accordingly. If you would not say it to their face, do not say it at all. This discipline alone will eliminate 70% of interpersonal conflict from your life. 7. Do not preach your philosophy. Announcing your values creates expectations. Expectations create traps. When you tell people you value loyalty, they will test your loyalty. When you tell people you value discipline, they will watch for your lapses. When you tell people you value honesty, they will scrutinize every word for deception. You have created an evaluation framework and handed it to your critics. Live quietly. Let behavior speak. When people notice discipline without explanation, curiosity replaces resistance. Demonstration convinces more than doctrine ever will. There is a reason the most effective leaders rarely explain their principles. They embody them. Their actions become the argument. Their consistency becomes the proof. When you announce your philosophy, you invite debate. When you embody it, you inspire imitation. One positions you as a theorist. The other establishes you as a practitioner. The world has enough theorists. It is starving for practitioners. Consider how many people proclaim their values loudly while violating them quietly. The dissonance is obvious to everyone but themselves. Do not become that person. If your philosophy cannot be observed in your behavior, you do not hold a philosophy. You hold a fantasy. Let others discover your principles through prolonged exposure, not through proclamation. This also protects you from the weaponization of your own standards. When you announce your values, you give others permission to hold you accountable to them, and they will do so selectively, applying scrutiny when convenient and ignoring it when not. Better to operate from internal standards that require no external validation. 8. Never seek validation. Approval seeking is submission disguised as charm. The moment you perform for acceptance, you surrender authority. You place your emotional state in someone else's hands. You give them veto power over your self-worth. This is not collaboration. It is colonization. Self-containment reverses the dynamic. When you stop auditioning, others begin competing for your attention. Praise and criticism are the same instrument. Both attempt to steer behavior. Reject both. This does not mean arrogance. It means internal reference. Your standards come from within. Your evaluation comes from within. Your worth comes from within. When you need nothing from the room, you cannot be manipulated by the room. When you are indifferent to applause, you are immune to criticism. This is not insensitivity. It is sovereignty. Consider how much energy you have wasted seeking approval from people whose judgment you do not even respect. How many decisions you have altered to accommodate opinions that added no value to your life. How many versions of yourself you have performed to earn acceptance from audiences that never mattered. That ends now. Validation seeking creates a feedback loop. The more you seek it, the more you need it. The more you need it, the more you will compromise to get it. The more you compromise, the less authentic you become. The less authentic you become, the less worthy of validation you feel. And so, the cycle intensifies. Break it by returning to internal reference. Ask not, do they approve? But, do I approve? Ask not, am I impressive, but am I improving? Ask not, do they respect me? But, do I respect myself? These questions recalibrate your entire operating system. They return authority to its rightful location, within you. 9. Never expose your deepest vulnerabilities publicly. The world is not a confessional. It is a hierarchy. Pain revealed without protection invites exploitation. There is a contemporary delusion that vulnerability is strength. That exposure is courage. That sharing your deepest wounds with strangers is healing. It is not. It is tactical suicide. Vulnerability is strength only in contexts of established safety. With a trusted therapist, with a committed partner, with a proven friend. In these containers, vulnerability builds intimacy and facilitates healing. But vulnerability broadcast to the world does neither. It simply redistributes your power to anyone watching. Heal privately, strengthen quietly. Scars inspire. Open wounds invite predators. When you expose your vulnerabilities publicly, you accomplish several things, none of them beneficial. You provide ammunition to those who wish you harm. You invite unsolicited advice from unqualified people. You position yourself as fragile in the minds of those evaluating your competence. You create expectations of continued emotional availability that you cannot sustain. Armor is not dishonesty. It is survival. There is nothing noble about being defenseless. There is nothing courageous about making yourself an easy target. Strength is not the absence of wounds. It is the refusal to weaponize them against yourself through careless disclosure. Share your struggles with those who have earned the right to hear them, not with everyone who happens to be listening. The difference between privacy and secrecy is intention. Privacy protects. Secrecy conceals. You are not hiding, you are fortifying. The aftermath of silence. When you remove these behaviors, silence follows. Not the silence of emptiness, the silence of containment. People will test it. They will provoke. They will ask invasive questions. They will try to extract the reactions they have grown accustomed to receiving. When you do not provide them, confusion arrives first, then frustration, then, if you hold steady, respect. They will miss the version of you they could manipulate. The version that performed, the version that explained, the version that apologized for existing. That version is gone. Hold steady. In that stillness, perception sharpens. You see patterns you were too busy performing to notice. You see motives you were too busy seeking approval to recognize. You see the game, and once you see it, you cannot be played. But understand this, when the noise stops, the inner voices get louder. External discipline is meaningless without internal rule. A fortress is worthless if the ruler inside is unstable. That is the next war, the war against your own weaknesses, against your own contradictions, against the parts of you that still crave the chaos you have worked to eliminate. This internal war is lifelong. It does not end with a single victory. It requires constant vigilance, constant refinement, constant choosing of discipline over comfort, but it is the only war that matters. Because external power without internal mastery is a castle built on sand, impressive from a distance, indefensible under pressure. True power is integration. External composure reflecting internal order. Public strength rooted in private discipline. Visible authority emerging from invisible work. When these align, you become formidable. Not because you dominate others, but because you have dominated yourself. And self-mastery is the only mastery that cannot be taken from you. It cannot be voted away. It cannot be cancelled. It cannot be destroyed by circumstances. It is the one form of power that is truly yours. Everything else is borrowed. Everything else is conditional. Everything else is subject to forces beyond your control. But the rule of self is absolute sovereignty. It is the foundation upon which all other power is built. Neglect it, and everything collapses. Master it, and everything becomes possible. The path forward. This is not a call to isolation. It is a call to discernment. Not all silence is strength. Not all revelation is weakness. But most revelation is careless. And most carelessness is punished. The goal is not to become unreachable. It is to become unreadable. To move through the world with enough opacity that others cannot predict you, manipulate you, or categorize you. To engage without exposing. To connect without collapsing. To influence without explaining. This requires a level of self-awareness that most people never develop. Because self-awareness is uncomfortable. It forces you to confront the gap between who you claim to be and who you actually are. Between your stated values and your actual behaviors. Between your potential and your reality. Most people avoid this confrontation. They choose the comfort of delusion over the discomfort of truth. They construct narratives that protect their self-image rather than improve their self. You cannot afford this luxury. Not if you are serious about power. Not if you are committed to sovereignty. Not if you understand that the war for your life is fought first within your own mind. So begin there. Audit yourself. Which of these 9 behaviors do you still indulge? Where are you still volunteering your power away? Where are you still performing for approval? Where are you still exposing what should remain protected? Identify the patterns, then eliminate them, one by one. With the same ruthlessness, you would eliminate any other threat to your position, because that is what they are. Threats, not moral failures, not personality flaws. Strategic vulnerabilities that undermine everything you are trying to build. Remove them. And watch what happens. Watch how relationships shift. Watch how opportunities change. Watch how respect arrives without being requested. Watch how power accumulates in silence. This is not theory. This is observable reality. Test it, implement it, and see for yourself. Because power begins with silence, but it is sustained by discipline, and it is secured by the refusal to return to old patterns when discomfort arrives. Stay the course. The fortress is not built in a day, but every day you fortify, you become harder to breach. Every day you maintain composure, you become harder to rattle. Every day you choose restraint, you become more dangerous. Not dangerous in the sense of harm, dangerous in the sense of capability, dangerous in the sense that you cannot be easily moved, manipulated, or defeated. That is the goal. Not cruelty, sovereignty, not isolation, invincibility, not performance, presence, the kind of presence that requires no announcement, the kind of power that needs no validation, the kind of authority that speaks through silence. This is your inheritance, if you are willing to claim it. Subscribe, because power begins with silence, and silence begins now.